And now, aviation weather around Alaska.
Friday morning's flying weather. We've got a zone of IFR here over the western interior. Narrow band here just south of the ice edge there in the Bering Sea. Otherwise, a system and some IFR here just south of the central Aleutians. A little bit of IFR to start out for Kodiak Island, also up here along the Alaska Range and over the eastern interior, and some IFR for the southeast coast. And for Friday afternoon, marginal VFR with some scattered areas of IFR for the Panhandle. Looks pretty good here. Prince William Sound, North Gulf Coast, Copper River Basin, across Cook Inlet, into the Kuskokwim Valley, some VFR there. And then to the north, marginal VFR with IFR there over the Tanana Valley. This narrow band here persists over the western interior. And out over the Bering Sea, mostly marginal VFR out west there. And then for the Saturday morning time, this band out here kind of regenerates a little bit from what it will be Friday afternoon there, extending from around Point Lay all the way down across the Kuskokwim Valley, becoming VFR out toward the southwest coast. A lot of marginal VFR persists over the Aleutians and the Bering Sea, and kind of a mixed situation here across the central and southern part of the state with more IFR for the southeast coast. And that IFR burns back a little bit in the afternoon Saturday, leaving just marginal VFR in most areas. And then mostly VFR, central interior here, and then mostly marginal up toward the Brooks Range. Still looking at a band of IFR here over the western part of the state and also along the Alaska Range. And could be some IFR here along the eastern side of the Kenai Peninsula, slipping on up in toward Passage Canal. And marginal for Kodiak Island, the Aleutians, and southern Bering Sea, staying VFR here to the north. Anatuvik, VFR for the day Friday. Adigan, same forecast. And for Lake Clark and Merrill, VFR, looking good for rainy as well, but we'll go marginal for windy. Pretty marginal day for Isabel, and also marginal at times for Mentasta. Tanita, marginal VFR at times, VFR at other times. And for Portage, going for a VFR day tomorrow on either approach. Then Chilkoot and White looks IFR. Freezing levels here at the surface south of the Pribilos, but north of the Aleutian Chain, and then up along and just north of the coast here and north of White Pass. Icing could be some areas of light, isolated, moderate icing here. I don't think that sounded right. Isolated, moderate rime icing for the southeast coast, also here over the western interior areas. And then that system sliding eastward has a lot more moisture in it, but that's just barely grazing the east central and eastern Aleutians. And for the jet stream here, we're looking at high pressure at 33,000 feet out over the southwest Bering Sea. Kind of a weak northwest flow coming around that. Pretty weak flow here over most of interior Alaska, maybe up to 65 knots there for the western Arctic coast, right out of the south. And light winds right on down the southeast coast, and you can see this core of the jet well to the south. 9,000 feet, about the same pattern, except now we're looking at southerly winds 40 to 45 knots here across the Seward Peninsula. Strongest there along the western Caves Point, Hope Cape Lisburne area. Seeing the strongest winds at this elevation, and strongest winds south of the Panhandle, and not much wind out here to the west. 3,000 feet, different story here. Northeasterlies or east northeasterlies up to 40, 45 knots for the west central Aleutian areas, much lighter to the north, light over the interior. 40 knot easterlies just grazing the eastern Beaufort Sea coastline, but light winds right on down into the Gulf of Alaska and the southeast coast. And with the stronger winds out west here, throwing in some moderate turbulence there for the Atka, Adak area over toward Amchitka, with light to isolated moderate extending over to the Fox Islands, and maybe some of that up along the eastern Beaufort Sea coast below about 4,000 feet.